This is 70.
Dang, it look like you get kind of sick. What you sipping on some orange juice?
Gotta get that
Was that
vitamin
a
C.
mimosa?
Yeah, I was about to say it's a mimosa.
I'm getting my vitamins with the orange juice and
And champagne?
And blood thickener.
but yeah,
I
it
ain't mad
helps.
at you.
Every little bit helps. But I woke up sniffly. Every morning I wake up sniffly and then about 8:30 I'm fine.
That's just weather. That's
Is
just
it?
weather. It's that change in this weather.
Yeah.
So I am with my sinuses. I'm always like that. Wake up sniffing and snorting, snotting, blowing nose,
Draining.
all of that. Yeah. And
I
then
don't know
be
what
good.
happens overnight that causes me to feel that way in the morning. It's only in the morning. It doesn't
You
happen
sleep
during
with
the
the
day.
fan on?
I mean, everybody sleeps with their ceiling fan on every
Okay.
day and
That's
all
why
throughout
everybody
the
wake
year.
up.
Then that might be the reason why.
Nobody.
You
I
know
mean,
that's funny because I think there is some truth to that because I sleep with the fan on all year long, but during the summertime I'm fine. During this time I wake up with a little a little congestion.
oh,
More often than not every day like y'all or most days in the morning, but more often than not during this time of the year and in the winter I wake up. I think it got something to do with this time of the year.
Yeah.
Cause summertime I sleep with
Allergens
the
in
fan
there.
on and just be just fine waking up. But
Yeah.
And
yeah,
so we got a lot of hip hop news this week or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So I guess we can go ahead and just
let's start with
dive.
Gollum. Let's start with Gollum from
Okay.
Lord of the Rings, Lil Wayne.
Oh,
you got you got.
Oh, is
How,
that who?
how could y'all not know who I'm talking about? Maybe I should have said the Gremlin.
so Lil Weezy, I, I don't even fully know the story. I don't know if one of y'all have the article pulled up, but obviously he was on a private jet and the I don't know customs or some type of police agency into the plane and found weapons or a weapon at least on the plane, a golden gun. So I think he think he on James Bond now, something like that or whatever.
You
And
gotta
then
have a
he,
gold one. I mean,
huh? What'd you
Yeah,
say?
I said you gotta have a gold one.
Yeah, I know, right? So he I guess he got arrested for that, and I don't know. I guess the thoughts are maybe that's the reason why he was, all up on Trump, trying to press us to vote for Trump and all of that type of stuff, because maybe they made a deal. I wonder is the deal off now? You know what I'm saying? Or is he
Yeah.
gonna get pardoned?
Well, Trump is trying to figure out how to pardon himself right now. He actually has employed a team of lawyers, and somebody leaked, whether it's true or not, or fake news, alternative facts, that he's trying to see if he can pardon himself before becoming a civilian. So who knows? But 50 Cent did do an interview this week, I believe, where he stated that he was offered money to do something with the Trump campaign and that he turned it down, that he didn't want it. And they asked him, did he think Wayne took it? And he said, oh, I'm pretty sure he did. So who knows if there's some
I,
truth.
I will jump back to hip hop real quick. I just wanted to say all of y'all people who donate money to the Trump campaign, y'all stupid. So the dude, he went to he sent his team to not Michigan, I think Wisconsin, if I'm not mistaken or whatever, trying to get a I don't know, maybe a hand count or something like that, or to get a recount in Wisconsin. But he's not even, and he has to pay for it because the margin is so vast or whatever. It's like Biden clearly won, so he has to pay for the recount. He's paying $3 million of y'all hard-earned dollars that y'all donate to this man to try to flip this state that is going to be impossible. Even more so, it's going to be impossible because he's not even paying to try to flip the whole state or trying to get a recount in the whole state. He's just trying to get a recount in like two or three cities or whatnot. So it
The
really
black
doesn't make
cities.
any exactly. So it makes no sense none whatsoever, like what he's doing, in reference to actually trying to flip the votes. and stuff like that or whatever. So
He got to save face. You didn't went this far with it. You got to do everything you can to try to prove to people that you believe what you're saying, even though you know what you're saying is BS.
$3 million
Right.
worth.
Yep.
Trump, oh
He's on
hell
his
yeah,
third.
yeah.
Yeah. He's on his third recount in Georgia. They've already recounted the second time. So he just initiated or filed for the third recount, I think yesterday. But also his Republican team that has come out and said, hey, there was no, you know, loss in
Evidence.
integrity in the election. He's everybody that's come out to say it's no evidence, he's fired them,
Yep.
so
He gonna recount until he win, huh?
Yeah.
until it ain't no more to count. He's like, hey, just
Exactly.
take it. Just take
Hey,
this.
if I was on the recount team in Georgia, I would be pissed
I
having
know,
to
right?
count
Are these
these
people getting
votes.
paid?
Well, he
I
paid.
Is
hope
I
this
think he
so.
got paid.
volunteer work?
They get
I don't
paid to
know.
recount.
Well, I
They
think,
get
well,
paid.
Okay.
yeah, he got to because I think he got. Anytime you have a recount, like I say, if the margin is vast, you got to pay for that.
Right.
But in Georgia, it's less than
You right.
0.5% or
You right.
something
You
like
right.
that.
You right.
So
It is.
do
Yeah.
these volunteer? I mean, they were doing this because they felt like their duty. But now
Yeah.
that this is the third recount, I mean, they need
If
to get paid because clearly they have
I
jobs.
have to imagine they being paid if he has to pay to make sure that this happens.
To get it done.
Yeah,
Right.
so yeah, I have to imagine that everybody involved with making sure that the votes get counted have to be getting something. The question
I hope so.
is what they getting worth it? Because
Right.
millions of votes and you counting it out. I'm pretty sure that system is not an easy one. It's probably tedious as hell. It probably takes forever. Like I can't imagine it. Maybe they got teams of people that they come in and you don't do it again if you was on the last team. I don't know, but if you have a team of people that's doing the votes the whole time, like hell no, that's crazy. That's torture.
How we running a 400-meter race and you leading by 200, and because I come through and blow you out in the last 200 or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like I I cheated
I mean,
because I was winning
Yeah,
at
he's
200.
crazy.
I was winning at
Right.
200 meters.
it's
I heard
ridiculous.
him say there was a veteran that voted for Biden, and he was like, that's fake. What veteran would vote for him? It's like the delusion of some of this stuff. Like, I have a lot of black people like me. What are you talking about in these black cities? They got Biden. You know,
What?
Yeah, they like you so
Oh,
much that you was trying to suppress their vote,
Yeah, it's
exactly.
that you
ridiculous.
didn't want them to vote.
It's back to Gollum.
yeah,
Um,
Gollum.
so this thing with Lil Wayne, it's one of those situations where it's messed up because I feel like any black man gets caught in this little trap. You know, he had a gun.
Mm-hmm.
Reading the reports, it said he wasn't using it, he wasn't brandishing it, well, he didn't have it on, like he wasn't carrying it. It was like maybe some inside information. I don't know how they saw the gun. He's on 10. I think he's on probation or whatever because of something that happened 10 years ago.
Same
So,
thing,
huh?
Yeah.
the same exact thing.
Same that, yeah. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and on one hand, you got to be like, okay, Lil Wayne, be smarter because you know what's gonna happen if you get caught with the weapon. But on the other hand, it's like this is an example of things that happen to black people that you hear about all the time. You can't tell me they ain't got white people on probation, even probably celebrities that carry a gun or got a gun, and if the police went and looked for it, they would find something. But on the other hand, Lil Wayne, I mean, the reason why you don't have the backing of the black community is because of your dumbass actions. you
Mm-hmm.
know. So I mean, I don't feel sorry for him in that aspect, but at the same time, um, it's still messed up that he got to go through it because I mean, this is what black people go through all the time, celebrity
But
or not.
knowing that he has a reason behind it, and it ain't just some BS reason or whatever. I mean, I really can't be mad at him. I mean, if you
Yeah,
got the option of I could possibly get out if I just pretend or act like this is my guy and this who we vote for. Hey, I mean, because at the
I
end of the
mean,
day, it's up to me to be smart enough to know who I'm voting for anyway without using some type of celebrity influence.
Right.
yeah, yeah, you can say
No.
that, but forget that shit. I mean, like
Mm-hmm.
there's other ways to you already got your charge. I mean, it is what it is. Like you gonna that's like selling your soul to the devil. Like literally selling your soul to the
Yeah.
devil. I'm gonna completely sell out everything that I know is right just because I got this charge and I don't want to possibly go to jail. I mean, I wouldn't do
So,
that. I wouldn't do
all
that
right.
shit. So I don't
So,
respect that. I don't respect it
so
at all.
all right. So, how do you feel about Tip making the tip commercial or whatever?
I have no problem with that. That boy wouldn't be in no. First of all, I don't believe in this. The way that people talk about this snitch shit, I don't look at it that way. I look at snitching the way that it was originally like used when
Design.
you are in illegal activity and you doing wrong and you get caught and you snitch. Takashi 6ix9ine type shit. That's to me. That's what
It's
I don't
it's
respect.
even deeper
I,
than that.
but even deeper than that, that's the part. What I'm saying is that's what I don't respect about snitching. This
Yeah,
dude, I mean, Ti was he all he did was make a commercial based off about Crime Stoppers helping people find people. I mean, find victim. I mean, find suspects for victims that been done wrong. That ain't got shit to do with snitching. When people say
Yeah, it
stuff like
doesn't.
that, I'm like, all you doing is perpetuating that crime should happen in the community because ain't nobody trying to solve it. It ain't like y'all people who are talking about he shouldn't have did that in the community
yeah,
going out trying to find the people. It
yeah,
ain't like y'all got y'all own system and y'all mad at him because he called in the other side to take care of what y'all normally take care of. Y'all ain't doing shit, so what y'all got
yeah,
something to say
yeah.
about it?
Straight up.
T
I
ain't do
think we,
shit wrong.
yeah, I want to further that conversation one day. But anyway, so y'all seen that Megan Thee Stallion came out with a diss record banging on Lil Tory
Wait, before
or
you go
whatever.
Well,
there,
she came
before
out
you
with the
go,
entire body of work.
before we go to Megan Stallion, just for one last nugget on you dumbasses supporting Trump and listening to these celebrities, the dude Lil Pump, that another rapper
Little
that
pimp.
came out, didn't even vote. But worse than that, this fool wasn't even registered to vote. So
Ah,
clearly his mo of what he was doing had nothing to do with real support from Trump. If you don't
Yeah, he
believe that
got
boy ain't
paid.
get his pockets lined, then you go sit in the corner somewhere. That boy wasn't even registered to vote. So we can talk about Megan Thee Stallion now.
yeah. Stop
Yeah.
listening to these celebrities are trying to align your interests with celebrity interests or whatever. You know what I'm saying? If it makes sense, then it makes sense. But don't
Yeah.
just blindly follow somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Especially when they come out a week before the election. If they haven't been a part of this cause or trying to, do some grassroots efforts for the entire time, you have to question the motive. And like Damien said
Exactly.
before, follow the money.
Yep.
Straight up. So anyway, Meg, the H Town hottie, the H Town hot girl, came out with a. She got it, like you say, she got an entire project, and she came out with a song called "Shots Fired," where she sampled Biggie's "Who Shot You." You know what I'm saying? It's a pretty dope sample or whatever. You know what I'm saying? She on the first verse. I thought she was, it was pretty. It was straight or whatever. She was banging on Tory, uh, talking about you and your feelings because it was your birthday. To me, it wasn't nothing. It was just another Thursday or something like that or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And she, talking about how he shot her and all of that, and she just going in. The second verse, like she fell all the way off. The second verse was like, I'm sorry, it was trash. It had zero intensity of the first verse or whatever. She should have hollered at me. I could have, you know what I'm saying? Could have wrote her something
Now
fire or
she
whatever.
heard the show. She know you on Tory's side, so she didn't want to
I
reach
ain't,
out.
I'm not on nobody's side. I'm not on nobody's
Meg,
side.
holla at me. I got bars. I can write.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't say nothing about his size, Meg. We could have talked about how he was kicking you all in the knees and ankles and stuff like that or whatever. But y'all
Man, then
have
he
y'all
come out
checked.
and say you wasn't saying that when, so yeah.
So what y'all have y'all checked it out? Y'all heard it?
I just
Nah.
read the lyrics. I like it. I need to listen
What you
to it.
mean you ain't even heard it, Gina?
I've read. I'm
Gina
just.
talking
I
about
just
she
read the
read the
lyrics.
she read the lyrics.
I like
She's
what
a
she. Oh,
poet.
I like what she has to say. Let me just say that. I like what she has to say. But let me, since you're like, listen to it. Okay, let me.
You can't listen to it right now.
But I can
You gonna
listen.
have to.
I just want to listen to a few seconds.
Nah, you gonna
Uh,
have to listen.
Yeah.
No, you hear a few seconds of
Well,
it. I mean, like I say, it's tight. I mean, the first, like I
it's
say, the
tight.
did
first
she
verse is
touch on
tight.
her ex? She touched on her ex best friend as well, right? Or is that in another song?
Maybe she did, but it was kind of like she didn't. It wasn't as blatant as because you knew she was
Oh,
talking about Tory Lanez because I mean he
Yeah.
supposedly shot her. But as far as her best friend, she just talk about them other bitches and hoes stuff like that, hating on
well,
my
Yeah.
maybe
dude,
it was
stuff
another
like that.
song because I think I heard something about you were my girl and y'all now y'all teamed up together or something.
Yeah,
So
no,
I
it
don't
was
know if it was that
no,
song.
I think it was this song or whatever. But like I
Yeah.
say,
She
Okay.
does take shots.
it wasn't blatant though.
Yeah.
Like you
So
would have
Okay.
to.
I got a question. I'm gonna read this. This is what Megan Thee Stallion said, and I want y'all opinion, Ebony and Regina, before I give mine. She said, it says in recent New York Times op-ed, Megan tied the shooting to the myriad of ways that black women remain disrespected and disregarded in society while living under the constant threat of violence from both men and the state. And yet, when they speak out against that violence, Megan stressed they're met with skepticism, dismissals, and additional threats. I don't
Yeah.
disagree with what she's saying in general about a lot of stuff. But does this situation really fall into that?
So did I
It
know
yes. No, no, no.
before?
He said
Hold
the
up.
women.
I did.
I understand, but before you answer, I want to say this real quick. Me and Capel talked about this before. I don't think we talked about this on air though or whatever. There's an industry person that came. I'm not gonna say who he is and none of that. I ain't gonna go into all of that. But he came out and said that it's known amongst some people in the industry. Not I am not gonna say known, but it's alleged that what really happened that night is him and Tory. I mean, her and Tory was kicking it, stuff like that at the party or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Tory did do some, some F stuff or whatever, because he was kicking it with our homegirl too or whatever, but they didn't know that he was messing with both of them. So he was really, I guess, they're supposed to be with the homegirl. So anyway, Tori and Megan went outside to the car, and supposedly they was having sex in the car or whatever. The homegirl came and found them and went and grabbed Tori's gun or whatever. He was trying to get the gun from her, and she like accidentally, let off some shots and stuff like that. And supposedly it didn't even actually shoot her in the foot. It like ricocheted or something like that and hit her or whatever. So that's what an insider is saying is alleged what really happened or whatever. But
Right. Well, well, I can. Okay, so I'll speak on that real quick. Well, whoever the insider is, it was only so many of the insiders at the party, and then there were only so many insiders at at the car. So regardless, they all had to hear something from somebody to even get it 2 or 3 persons removed. So it's
yeah,
almost like
yeah,
I know about 5 people that were close to OJ, and everybody knows what OJ did, and everybody's stories are a little different, or who
my
shot
my
Tupac.
uncle,
Everybody
my
has a
uncle,
story, but they
my
was
uncle,
right there.
my uncle, your
Yeah, I
daddy
know,
know
but
don't
they
say so.
oh, you can't tell my daddy. He didn't know. He was in the Bronco.
I know,
So
right?
I hope my daddy's not listening. Don't listen to this episode, Daddy. Turn off. Turn off. But in regards to the op-ed, when she wrote that in the beginning, it was when this case was fresh, and also when before either sides really started talking about anything, and people were making their speculations and going into her comments and writing this, that, and the other. So when she did come out and say, I didn't file charges or whatever because if a black man with a gun and we're in LA or wherever they were and people showing up, I didn't need that on my hands. So I think that was a response to that, and also how people had already formed their opinion and were going taking it, oh well, she's this type of person, she's already rough around the edges, she's a rapper, this and that and the other, as if it's justification to what she was going through, and they were
Yeah,
picking a side based on being a black woman. So yeah, you can kind of separate like what happened, but at the end of the day, that is still a valid statement. I hope she's telling the truth because it will negate the cause for a lot of people that have to deal with this when
yeah.
black women have to come forward. But the still is still truth to it.
Okay.
That's
So, but wait, I want to hear Regina first.
I actually want to hear directly from one of them. I want to hear from her or the friend who it happened to, or Tory Lanez. I want to hear exactly what happened from one of them. I don't want an insider. I don't want somebody who was there at the event, whatever, because they could spin it whatever way they want to spin it,
Mm,
depending on whose side they're on. So I want to hear directly from them what happened. And until then, like, Megan got shot in the foot. Tory Lanez did it. It was his gun, and that's the end of the story. Unless they both come out and say this is what was happened. We were screwing in the back of the car. Your homegirl came up, and this is what ensued. But until then, no. And I agree. It does. Oh, I'm so tired of having this conversation. We Everything that Ebony said is true. I'll leave it
So
at that.
I agree with everything Ebony said, and I agree with Megan Thee Stallion's comment as a whole. But what the reason why I wanted to read it is because I just wonder, like, so can we all agree that there are it's a lot of uncertainty in this situation. It is.
Yes, we can
I
agree.
agree.
So if we all see it's a lot of uncertainty in the situation, then you go back to what Damien said earlier. I mean, what you said, Ebony, about what she initially said about her getting shot. She didn't want to call the police. They was worried about a black man getting, So initially the reports came out from her own mouth that that's not what happened. Like, we don't know what happened, but we know she just got shot. She was hurt, and she didn't want to say nothing. So you look at that part, and then the truth about what happened came out. Supposedly he shoots her in the foot. Is it not a normal reaction for anybody to see this situation unfold and be skeptical about her comments or his comments in general? Like, I feel like this situation in itself does not fall into that category because there's so much that we don't know. If there was witnesses that all corroborated the same story and there was information being shared, like, we knew there was 4 people there and they were all saying, like Breonna Taylor, all these people saw the same thing and she wasn't being taken serious. They didn't, do what the due diligence. That's this. That's this comment is for Breonna Taylor. But is it really for Megan Thee Stallion is what I'm saying in this situation? I don't know if I agree with that. I feel like this is a situation where that is being used, that comment is being used, or that ideal of it is being used. But I feel like people have reason to be skeptical of what her words are and what the situation is.
So to me, I kind of liken it to the courts and how they use circumstantial evidence or whatever. So let's say we had somebody that we feel like they committed a crime where they deserve life or whatnot. Well, they deserve life in prison or they deserve death in prison. Me personally, and I feel like that it should be globalized or whatnot. Everybody should feel the same way. I don't see how you can feel any different. I need to have 100% proof that this person committed this crime in order to put them away for life or in order to take their life. It can't be a shadow of a doubt. It can't be a shaded area. It can't be a threshold met. That's bullshit. For circumstantial evidence, I mean, okay, so in the first example, I got video. It can't just be witness testimony. I don't care if it's 10,000 witnesses or whatever. It can't just be witness testimony. It has to be a multitude of evidence, and I have to have pertinent proof. This person has to admit to it. I got to have fingerprints. I have to have confluence. It can't just be one specific thing or whatever, unless that thing is damning, like video or something like that, or this person admitted has an admission of guilt. Then okay, yeah, you did it, you're going away for life or whatever. Circumstantially, if things put you in the place of, yeah, you were there when the crime was committed, but we can't necessarily 100% unequivocally prove that you did this or whatever, you know what I'm saying, then I can't put you away for life. The probability that you committed this crime is there or whatever. So I can give you maybe 30, 40 years or something like that, but I can't give you life or take your life. And I don't have all of the confluences to prove that you actually did this. You know what
And,
I'm
and,
saying?
and you know what? But I'm not in what you're saying is. I mean, I agree with that, but I'm not even talking about innocence or guilt. I'm talking about specifically the perspective that the society right now, like, people that are talking about this, is looking at this situation, and we're not taking her serious and liken it to situations where black women who are in, like Breonna, I'll use Breonna Taylor, Sandra Bland, like those situations. I know those were more serious, of course. Those are situations where what she said, 100% on, 100% right on. But this situation, I feel like people I feel like with everything that's happened, it's normal for people to be
But
skeptical about what happened.
Yeah.
but see, but
But
that's
can
what
I?
I'm talking. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, it's, like I said, timing is everything. I agree with you, Capel. But at the time of this op-ed, everyone was making memes and jokes about her foot, her toe. They were talking about Harlem Nights
Mm.
and, oh, you got shot in the pinky toe. It wasn't about anything they said because nobody had come out and said anything at that time. It was about not being taken seriously when something happens. And y'all are right. We will never know unless maybe, what they were in LA, right? The streets of LA. Hopefully, there's some videos off of some buildings or businesses. Who knows? Or parties or security cameras. But what we do know is she was shot in her toe or toes. We do know it's either she either shot herself, Toy shot, or the friend Kelsey shot her, or whoever the fourth person. Or it, like you said, it was a struggle and something ricocheted, and it just happened to shoot her toes. Because wasn't it, was it one toe or both, or a toe
I
on
don't
both
know.
feet or something? I
Supposedly
don't
it
I don't
was
know.
twice or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. So, but what we do know is that, so if we want to take, if we don't think she shot her own toe, then which who was it, and why is the friend, why is that not her best friend anymore? After that night, that's not her best friend anymore. Is it because best friend wants clout and wants to go with Lanes? Is she in love with Lanes, or is it because Megan's foul? We'll never really, well, hopefully we will know. Hopefully they have some of the evidence, like you're saying, Damien. But I mean, shoot, we've seen video where things are plain cut, dry, and justice
But
still says there's reasonable
but
doubt.
I'm not.
Yeah.
But see, I wasn't talking
Not
about. I was. I'm sorry, Gina. Go ahead.
what?
I was
Oh,
just gonna say. I was.
go
I said I
ahead,
was
Malcolm.
likening it to the real court system because we're not talking about. I wasn't talking about real court. I'm talking about the court of public opinion, and it works the
Mm,
same exact way. Like we don't need that much evidence. All we need is an entertaining story. As far as people
right.
not taking it seriously, he could have shot her on camera in the foot, and we could have seen it, and people still would be making memes and jokes
Of
But
about it.
that
course.
now, but that goes to what they was talking about and what she's talking about, and I get that part, Ebony. And from that perspective, I can understand what she's saying and what you're saying about not taking it serious, black women not being just being important in society when it comes to this matter and other matters, even more matters are more serious. So I get that, and I'm not gonna discredit that. I just was looking at it from the totality of the situation. But yeah, what you said makes a that's a
And,
good point.
and it to y'all is it not to me it's not just black women, it's women across the board because we live in a patriarchal society or whatnot where women aren't taken seriously, period.
I
I want Gina.
more
It's
than
more black women.
more
You're
black
right.
women because we don't get to just start crying like Becky and then somebody comes to our rescue. We're
Facts.
expected to be strong and
True.
endure and take care of others even when nobody is taking care of us.
Straight
The
up.
other part to the whole situation is, I mean, yeah, maybe there was a gun involved. She did get shot. If I also have to look at intent, like why did he? I mean, he wasn't shooting to kill her, obviously. If he shot her in the foot, I mean, if he's the one who actually shot her. So I mean, I don't know. Y'all are right. There are so many different scenarios here, and it's hard to decide who to believe. But as far as black women, um, being the ones who have to endure, and nobody believes us and nobody's taking us seriously, and all of that. That's absolutely true. Whether it's a serious situation like a Sandra Bland or something that seems a little bit frivolous and goofy, like this situation in the foot, really, what are you doing?
But that, and then to me that speaks to Capel's point of view or whatever, which I probably pretty much had the same point of view. I don't. How can you bring the black woman's plight into this situation? You know what I'm saying?
Wait,
Y'all
wait, hold up, son. Hold up. Don't say that's my point of view, partner. Wait up.
how can you bring I'm
You
saying how can you bring up Sandra Bland and bring up all of these different women that actually were murdered and stuff like that, and their situations were not taken seriously, and you bring it into this situation where it's not the same
Well,
thing.
I brought that up because
well,
that's like the first thing I thought of. It wasn't like I was trying to compare. Like
I'm
I brought that up
Bro, I'm not
specifically.
talking about you. I'm talking about
Oh,
Megan. I'm talking about Megan.
well, I
Oh,
don't think
well,
she brought that up with the same thought process either. You know what I'm saying? I think she just brought that up for her own personal experience. Like,
But yeah, and I think she was bringing awareness.
What about the friend?
I'm
The
sorry.
friend is a black girl too.
I mean,
The
we can't.
friend
Well,
I
then she
can't.
need
wasn't
to
a
come
good
out and
friend
write an
though.
op-ed.
She wasn't. The friend
Plus, they
wasn't a
not.
good
They
friend.
the New York Times don't want to hear from her. No way. She ain't Megan Thee
Well,
Stallion.
the friend got the friend got millions of followers now,
Yep.
so like, okay. My thing is this: the bullet is the bullet, right? I understand that some of these situations are more serious, but if the
Hmm.
bullet went in Meg's head, then we'll be like, oh, let's take it seriously. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter where the bullet goes. A black woman shouldn't have to die before we're taken seriously. Now, like I said, I will retract everything. If Meg is lying, I'm not here to put Tory on the cross and say he did it, even though I have my opinions about it. At
Hmm.
the end of the day, if Megan is lying, she needs to be held accountable. And even if she knows that it was an accident, whatever, she needs to be held accountable. But the
May have
situation at
been
hand
drunk.
with black women is still is valid. The bullet doesn't matter where it lands. Take it seriously. Hear me when I'm talking. Everything is not a joke. Let it have been a white woman, and even a white woman with clout. There would have been GoFundMe's. There would have been a whole sing-a-thon to talk about how women are need to be valued. So yeah, I know it's in our culture. We laugh. It's a defense mechanism. We make jokes about stuff, but it's still very valid to say, hey, this isn't funny, because we just watched a lot of black men die for going into, and I'm not trying to make this heavy, but just going into a home or just running or doing whatever, and it wasn't a joke to us. We mad about it. So here's another bullet, and I understand that it's not as serious as these causes that we've been marching, praying, and whatever we've been doing for. But if she died, it would be another hashtag, and it would be
True,
serious.
true, but I'm more of so own your situation. You know what I'm saying? Don't don't pull other people's pain, you know what I'm saying, for your if your situation is specific and it's not the same as those other people's situation and stuff like that. Like say like if my son was actually thugging or something like that, he out there shooting at cops and they shooting back at him and hit him, and then I'm talking about woe is me and stuff like that and trying to act like I'm in the, my pain is the same as Trayvon Martin's family pain. My pain is the same as, because people do that. Their kids be out there doing stuff that they not
Mm-hmm.
supposed to do, and then when they go to jail or if they get killed or something like that, oh, my baby wasn't like that. You a damn lie. You know that he was like that. You know what he was
Yeah,
out
but
there
I don't
for.
think that's what
You
she's doing.
understand?
Well, what about George
Yeah.
Floyd? People are mad that George Floyd was
That's
being
not that's not the same.
honored in a way. Okay, but
I'm
but
not
to,
talking,
but
but
to
I'm
the
not
people
talking about
that
the. I'm not talking about the honor aspect. George Floyd was actually murdered maliciously in cold blood. George Floyd wasn't doing
okay,
anything negative
I
in the act
agree.
of. You know
But
what I'm
let's
saying?
take your son. Let's say your son was a gangbanger. He wasn't shooting at police at that time, but he was this, that, and the other. Some people. Okay, what was Meg doing? Regardless, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I
That's the
guess,
I
thing. That
like
I
you
okay.
said, we
think
That's
got
the
to know
thing
the
about it.
facts.
We don't
I
know. That's what I'm saying.
You're
It's
right.
a gray, a shaded. It's a whole bunch of gray area that we don't know about. So don't try to hit us with the guilt like we're not taking
but
it
I
serious.
don't
There's
I
so
don't
much gray area.
so that's the thing. I don't think that her comments were like that. I don't think that was her intent. I
Yeah.
do think there's a level of responsibility that you need to have when you make comments like that, as far as making sure people understand where you're coming from, because we're doing a lot of talking about it. So like Ebony brought something to my attention that I didn't think about from the perspective of what she said. I'm looking at the totality of it. Ebony brought in the perspective of at the very beginning, before we had all the information that we do have. So when she makes a statement like that, you leave it up to the interpretation of people to say, well, what are you talking about? So
Yeah.
there is a level of responsibility that you should have to make sure you're clear when you make those comments. But I don't believe she was trying to use that as a way to take attention off her, not owning her role in the situation or what happened. I wouldn't say that simply because I don't know that. Like, I don't know what her level of accountability is, because I haven't researched enough to see if maybe she said that I apologize for saying this the way I said it, or not saying things. Well, I don't know that, but for this particular statement though, I feel what she's saying. I just, for myself, I just was like, I got a reason to be skeptical, but again, based off what Ebony said is true. Like that was happening. People was make. I saw the memes. I did see it. I just wasn't thinking about it from that perspective. But people was being funny. Somebody posted the Harlem Nights
Yeah,
video,
that's stupid.
and I didn't even know what happened at the time. I just saw
Yeah,
somebody
yeah.
posted, and I was like, why they posted this? Because people was commenting on it. I didn't know what happened. So that did happen, and that is wrong. And she's right. If that was a white woman, a celebrity, whether it was a whatever or actress or singer, we even if she didn't die, we would have been people would have been so worried about that person, and the comments would have been totally different. And
Hey, bro, that's
so
what you
I
think?
do agree. I do think that. I do think
I
that
don't. I don't
100%.
agree with that, bro.
I do think that 100%.
People. So you think if it was this, because we got to use somebody that's close
You
to
know, you know why I think that is
why?
because if it was a white person, who makes the most comments when black people do something? Black people. Who makes the most comments when white people do something? White people. White people are not doing that when people get into trouble in business. Like look at Full House. What's her name? Lori Loughlin. We see them like make jokes about it on the Daily Show and stuff like that. But do you see the white community doing that? Do
Are
you see
we?
posts about that? I mean,
Can I say
I
something?
well, I'm not finished. You can wait till I finish. She when you I see a lot of posts from different people, white and black, on my Instagram, on my
Yeah.
Facebook. It's not I'm not just cool with a bunch of black people and no white people. I got friends with people on Facebook that I don't even know, but they stuff pop up on my feed. And one thing that's consistent is the stuff that's jokey, and people make fun of stuff. It is more on the black side than it is on the white side, and I think that's consistent. So I
Hey, bro.
don't believe that would have happened with a white woman that was a celebrity.
Hey, bro.
Imagine Lori being shot in the toe, like a time to kill. Imagine if she was white.
I
I
think
mean, nobody would say, well, she deserved to be shot in the toe because look what she did for her kids to get in college. They'd have been like, oh my gosh, we got to postpone all of this. She can't go to prison right now. We need to find out why someone did this to her.
so. Compare. You got as many white friends that you have black friends on your Facebook account, and I'll answer that for you.
I
No,
don't know for a fact. No, I don't know.
no. You know for a
Dude,
fact
bro,
that
you
no.
saying that shit because you want to prove a point. But dude, I got so
I'm
many.
saying the truth.
I got so many friends that I accept. I don't know who's who.
Okay,
Well, I
that's
troll. I don't
beside the
have
point.
friends, but I troll.
That's beside the point or whatever. White people are just as malicious and vicious. They
That's not.
say
That's not
things.
what that
Can
does
I?
not.
Hey, okay, whatever.
Okay,
So
so on the news outlets like on CNN and MSNBC and Fox News, whatever, on their Facebook pages, even our local channels here in Houston, I go on there, and there are a lot of white people, and they have a lot to say about whatever it is that's being posted. So, and you don't have to
exactly.
have a lot of white friends just to to know that white people do the same thing or don't do the same
That's
thing.
that's what
Um,
I'm saying.
but they're
I
not.
s-
I know one thing: they're not posting videos about somebody being shot in the Harlem Nights video about being shot in the pinky toe when
true.
Megan Thee Stallion got it. I mean, that didn't
Shit, you know why
happen.
they didn't?
It was
Because
us.
if Lori Loughlin got shot in the toe, white people probably never seen Harlem Nights, so they wouldn't have had no reference.
Yeah, but whatever they do have, they're not going to post a tombstone. They're not going to say you're my Huckleberry, Lori. The thing is, it's a different. Yeah, they are malicious in some ways. Their maliciousness is shown in different aspects, whether it's
Uh-huh.
business or whatever. But they still practice nepotism. They're still going to choose
Hmm.
them,
Hmm.
But there's still going to be a level of we may not like her, we may not fool with her, but one of our own. This can't happen. Oh my gosh, we got to
If
get one of our dogs die, one of our women die, get shot at, whistled at, whatever. We gotta. It's an issue, and we about to get to the bottom of it, and we can't pretend like that don't
and
happen.
Or they
everybody,
ignore it altogether. They'll ignore it. They'll act like it didn't happen. Just like white people ignore like their poor white trash. They ignore that. We have you white black people. We'll go in and we'll acknowledge that we have issues in our community. White people just ignore it. They're like, I don't know what you're talking about. That trailer trash. I don't
yeah,
know. Like they just ignore their issues, their ghettos, or whatever. We acknowledge it, and a lot of us try to do something about it. So the dynamic between white culture and black culture is so different. You can't even make a comparison like that. It
yeah.
doesn't make
So
sense.
with different people socially or whatnot, and I mean, y'all absolutely. I feel where y'all coming from as far as they shouldn't have been making. I'm not saying, yeah, I'm glad they made fun of her. No, that was stupid. I would never do nothing like that. So I'm not expecting somebody else to do it.
But
And I
did you
think it's
laugh
trash.
when you saw the memes? Did you
No,
laugh?
I didn't. To be 100% honest, I
I
haven't seen one meme.
I laughed at the Harlem Nights one, but it was because it was reminiscent, and I didn't know. Like I said earlier, I had no idea what it was talking about. Cause the person that sent it, you know the person, Regina. I'm not gonna say their name, but the person that sent it to a group. It's a group chat, and I laughed like like I thought it was just like reminiscent, and then I text, "What's this about?" And then that person sent the laughing emojis and didn't respond. So I went and looked it up, and that's how I found out what happened. So I didn't laugh to answer your question at Megan Thee Stallion, but yeah, I did laugh
I
at the
didn't.
video.
I didn't. I saw somebody had drew a picture. I think I sent it to y'all depicting Megan the Stallion as like a burly type female, like a man or something like that, and then
Like
had
Tory Lanez.
yeah, Tory Lanez was like a little
But see,
short
Like
but
looking
then
Landon
girl.
that
did.
proves that's my point there too. It's just like that. Even when it comes to that depiction, I know she's a taller woman, but because they did that same thing to Serena.
Serena.
It's like to
Mm-hmm.
make them masculine. Like
Yeah.
they do that to Michelle Obama all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the things I understand that that's not the topic at hand, but it's about how the topic is dealt with. And the severity of the issue is like when something happens to us, we're not considered delicate and fragile. We're not
Mm-hmm.
considered something to be protected. We're
Mm-hmm.
considered something to be joked about. Somebody that, oh, what did she do? She probably was angry, or she's probably from the Caribbean. They crazy, or she probably was on drugs, or you see what she rap about, or she used to be a stripper. It's always a but with it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, yes, some of us can. We're liars too, just as much as there's truthful women. But at the end of the day, I think it's already a crucifixion in the media, and we're the ones leading the charge with it. And we, every culture crucifies us, including our own, when it comes to something like this. When it comes to rape, it's like, oh, well, why was she there? It's always something like that. And I think that's really where the thought process was coming from when she said that. Even if she brought up Sandra Bland or anybody else, it was just like, hey, these black women are not being protected. It's always, well, what did she do? Or she could have complied, or she could have. The same thing that we say about black men. But in this instance, we're talking about black women. Yes, women, we live in a patriarch. I can't think say the word right now, but you know what we how we live. But at the end of the day, it's different. It is different for black women. So,
Yeah,
Well,
word.
yeah,
and when I couldn't say the word, Damon, you're supposed to step in right then
nah,
and
because it
say,
patriarchal. You
yeah.
was on the roll. I didn't want to, bring. Nah, I feel you. I mean, I think there's a pecking order or whatnot with white men at the top, and if you want to believe that black women, I don't know. I just don't. I don't think black women are at the bottom. Maybe towards the bottom. Definitely. I mean, black people
In
period are
America,
towards the bottom.
yeah, I do.
Who?
I think in
Yes, like
America,
who's behind us?
maybe not the world, but in
Could
America.
be could be Mexican women.
No, especially when a lot of them are able to pass as white.
A lot of them, but not all of them. No, I
Majority.
can't even say a lot of them. No, they can't.
Well,
I
y'all
don't. I
going into
don't.
a whole nother conversation. Let's save that one for another day. Let's, what's next?
Okay. So, did y'all check out the Google? Yeah, we need to continue this conversation. This is a good conversation to have. I need to get some more. I need to do some more research or whatever. But did y'all see the Gucci and Young Jeezy verses?
Yes, we
Well,
did.
not
Well,
young
I didn't
Jeezy.
see it, but I heard
I
about
didn't.
it.
Jeezy.
Oh, it ain't
Yeah, I
Young
heard.
Jeezy no more. I'm sorry.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I watched it. I was actually excited about it because it brings me back from
So
2005, how I was living.
yeah. Oh, you was in the kitchen whipping with pots.
Man, I thought I was a D
Oh
boy.
yeah.
You couldn't tell me when I put that on. 2005 was a hell of the year. I learned about Jeezy, Webby,
Yeah.
Patron. So just know that my daughter was born in
I
2006,
think
everyone. So
for real. Okay. All right. So that put some things into perspective. But yeah, cuz I think we met for the first time in like 2006, I believe, huh? I
yeah, we
want to
did.
say,
After my
yeah.
daughter was born.
Man, Ebony had a like 3-story house. She part of the reason why I moved to Houston. She was staying in the Galleria,
Oh, you
three
talking about when we
story
came to
house.
visit that time?
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember that.
elevator in the crib. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Furniture looking
well,
like we at the in the Oval Office. I'm like, damn man, cuz doing it. Like maybe I can come out here
yeah.
and fall in. You know what I'm saying?
The
But
perception. People thought I was rich. It wasn't.
Yeah, it sure worked on me because I was like, this girl got money. I God damn, I ain't never seen nothing like that before. Louisiana,
straight up
Yeah, well.
we got straight up flats in Louisiana. I ain't never been
one
in a house
story.
with stairs.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm in a regular house. I'm in a regular house now. I'm a
Right.
real grown person now.
With Gucci and Jeezy. So Jeezy put out a he actually put out an album. He put out a single like I want to say like maybe 3-4 days ago or whatnot, and he's addressing some of the issues with his homeboys and stuff like that. Like man, it's pretty jamming or whatever. You know, it was pretty dope. And then the verses came right after, so I'm like, okay, maybe this was all a setup. So I checked out the verses and man, that boy Gucci was throwing shots. He was banging on Jeezy throughout the whole thing or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Jeezy got a song with Bankroll Fresh, and then after he played the song, that boy Gucci was like, "Yeah, Bankroll saved you on that one." Or whatever. He was just throwing all kind of shots, throwing shots at him. He was rapping to him like the songs that he had dissing Jeezy from back in the day. Cause
Yeah.
Gucci, the story is one of like I guess they fell out after So Icy and the Boys in the Hood stuff and all of that type of stuff. And
Mm.
Jeezy sent one of his homeboys to go kill Gucci, and Gucci ended up killing the guy or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So Jeezy, I mean Gucci always held Jeezy responsible for that for whatever reason. We don't know
Yeah.
if it's the truth or
And
not.
Jeezy had a bounty on the chain, on his chain as well at one point.
So it was all kinds of stuff going on in the ATL. You know what I'm saying? But I guess they kind of squashed the beef. But that boy Gucci was like looking at Jeezy in the face, like just going hard on him. Like, damn, like he did
They
about at
did.
least
I don't think they squashed the
They
beef.
didn't
no,
squash
they
the beef.
did.
Jeezy no, they didn't. Jeezy said it as well. He was on the Breakfast Club after. They have not squashed their
Oh,
beef.
for real?
It's just a step. This is a step
Oh,
that
okay.
Gucci even
Well,
finally agreed
well, at the
to do
end of
this.
it, Gucci said he was like, "Hey, man, you know, I respect you. I respect what you're doing. I accept the olive branch that you extending or whatever. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? And you know, I salute."
Well,
So
that's what Jeezy said too. Jeezy
yeah,
said mentioned that too. But it's not squashed yet. But he's hopeful that based on those comments, because he said that
yeah,
they will be able to sit down one day. So
Yeah,
I've been
buddy.
seeing a lot of comments about people, saying how, they commend Jeezy. And you know what, I watched it all and it was funny. They both threw shots at each other. It wasn't just Gucci.
what was
But
Jeezy? What was Jeezy saying? Jeezy was just playing
um,
his music.
no, he wasn't. He wasn't just playing his music. Even when Gucci would play something, he's like, well, "I'm gonna get a little, let's take it to the streets or let's get a little gangster." And then Jeezy would say, "Yeah, that's what I've been waiting on." It was some little things
As
there. It wasn't
okay,
like Gucci, but
so
it was.
Wait,
Gucci started with the Rura
Well,
stuff.
I don't care who
Right.
started, because actually who started it is who sent somebody to kill me if the rumors are true.
Right. That's what I heard.
But we
So
talking about room. We can't talk about that. We talking about this versus battle. We can't talk about what
no,
happened
I'm
in
gonna
because
talk
we
about
don't
it
know if
all.
that's the truth.
talk about it
We
all.
don't
Let's
know if
I
go.
that's the
don't
truth.
care. We're
Dynamic.
gonna talk about.
That
We're
set
gonna
up the
talk about it.
dynamic for the versus battle in the first place. If
It
you still send
it has
somebody
to
to
be.
kill me, I'm saying every little shady little thing that I can
If
think
you send
of.
somebody to kill me, I'm not doing no versus battle.
That's
Maybe,
the
maybe,
expectation, the
maybe not.
fans.
We ain't never
Yeah,
friends.
yeah. I talked to my husband about that, and I was just like, well, you got to think of it this way too. Both of them now. Jeezy has a talk show coming out. Jeezy is changing his image. He's grown. He's
Hmm.
into real estate. He has
Hmm.
Jeannie Mai on his arm, and he has a weekly conversations with whatever his name is, not Jeezy, but Jay Jenkins or whatever, coming out with his suit on and everything. His image is changing.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have Gucci has cleaned up a lot. He's still rough around the edges, but if you know where Gucci used to be, and then he has a baby on the way. He's a family man now. He has a wife
Hmm.
that is a businesswoman,
Hmm.
a multi-millionaire businesswoman from her own brand, and she
Yeah.
took his money
She
and
helped
flipped
them
it
a
for
lot.
him while he was
Yes,
gone.
she helped
So
them a lot.
I wouldn't be surprised that the pillow talk wasn't, "Baby, you're gonna do this because this is what we're gonna do," and I wouldn't be surprised if Gucci said, "I'm not even concerned with playing the my hits. I'm going up here so the whole world can hear me call him a pussy, because I'm going to take this opportunity for everybody to hear this diss album. I'm going to rehash what we were talking about 15 years ago." So yeah, you could say, "Oh, that's not what I'm going to do," but you know,
You know what? All whatever happened, I don't even care. I don't care. And let me tell you why. Because cause and effect. If Jeezy put a hit out on this man, you can say that was extreme, but why did he do it? He ain't do it because I'm pretty sure it wasn't nothing petty. Like they really in the streets. They living their life. So people we tend to see when things are right in our face, like that's what we make our decisions by. And I think a lot of people looking at the fact that we know that Jeezy put a hit out on this dude. Oh my God, he put a hit out on him. But who asking the question why? We don't know what that conversation was done on the background or what happened in the background as to why he made the decision. Like, for example, this is so a dude cheating on his girlfriend or wife and won't stop. Just doing it, just like disrespecting his wife, and then she get him back by cheating on him with his brother, and then all we know is, oh, she cheated with your brother. Oh, that's terrible. But we don't know the backstory. We don't know that she been done like dirt, for years. So we don't know what the hell the conversation was with Gucci Mane and Jeezy. We just know he made a decision to end the shit. So because of that, people want to look back and say, well, he made this decision to kill him. I ain't trying to be friends. They both was in it. But what I look at is the end result, and the end result to me was very powerful. You know what I'm saying? I was kind of glad to see that it ended that way, and I like that Jeezy, even though he was getting shit on, like as far as disrespect by Gucci Mane, for the most part he was getting shit on, by Gucci Mane as far as the comments that he was saying and the songs he was playing. He kept his composure because the world is watching. You know what I'm saying? The world is watching, and for that to be seen that way, in hip hop, and to show that, to extend that olive branch, and then Gucci Mane finally accepted it. I think that was great. All the stuff that happened, they both was fucked up for what they was doing. I ain't gonna lie. We just know more about what Jeezy did because it was broadcast. Like Jeezy ain't never come out and say, "This is why I put a hit out on you. You did this." Gucci Mane did some shit, and he probably know what he did was fucked up.
I mean, that's probably the truth. If they was if they was both in the game together and stuff like that or whatever, I mean that's how the game go. You know what I'm saying? Young
yeah.
Thug and his cat Rah talk about how they used to beef with each other and used to shoot at each other and all that type of stuff. Now they making music together or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I mean that makes sense. I got people that done slighted me in the past that I'm willing to watch that stuff away. You know what I'm saying? But
But did they send somebody to kill you though?
well, Gina, I'm gonna be 100% honest. It all comes down to context. If we was beefing and I'm trying to kill you and you trying to kill me, but you just didn't succeed or I didn't succeed, whatever, then we should be able to squash that beef. And
Okay.
even more so if someone, I mean, because I actually come from a gang background. My family, you know what I'm saying, in California, everybody is gangsters or whatever. So it done been shots fired on both sides. People have died on both sides of the fence. And I got family on both sides of the gang, aisle or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So if we killed some of your homeboys, y'all killed some of ours, family members, whatever, we both done it to each other. So one day, hopefully, we can come to the realization that okay, damn, we both fucked up about this. We both did something damaging to each other. Let's squash it. Let's leave it where it's at, and let's move forward. Now we might not ever be able to be homeboys, you know what I'm saying, and go to picnics and all that kind of stuff together or whatever. But you know, hopefully we can just leave it where it's at in a static mode without any
Yeah.
type of kinetic energy.
Yeah. Well, I hope that they get it together. I think we'll never really know because I'm
Yeah.
not in the streets of Atlanta, nor was I 15 years ago. But based on what's been reported, and the streets ain't really gonna report, but the streets gonna talk.
Yeah.
But they had business beef. Yeah, they were in the street together. They did songs together, but it was more on the business side of it, with Jeezy not performing their collaborative songs live when they agreed, and then they had some differences with the So Icy and all of that and Black Tea song. But when five people storm into your home to rob you, you don't know. Like maybe how did they know I was here? How did they know how to get in here? There could be there's a lot of unknowns there. But even if you look at how there was a spiral with Gucci around that time, like people were like, "Oh my gosh, he's going crazy. He's doing this. He got ice cream on it tatted on his face." Who knows what all ensued? And that might have drove him crazy as well. Like, shoot, these were my homies. Now they trying to kill me. I'm thinking just shit. We disagreeing.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I mean, but I see that everybody's here and alive, and I'm glad that they're here to talk about it. I do like how the verses ended, because I think a lot of other people would have taken things, chosen a side, and tried to do some ignorant stuff.
Yeah.
So that's good. But hopefully they can become
You
cool
know,
again, if not friends, just cordial.
The real question is, do y'all believe Gucci Mane outfit really cost 10K?
yeah.
Yeah, because
Now I
Kanye's
believe it. I do believe it.
homeless clothes.
But somebody posted a meme with what's the
The boy
dad
was
name
fresh.
on Good Times? What's the dad name on Good Times?
Oh,
Oh
James.
no.
Yeah.
John
James.
They
Amos.
showed a meme with him, and he had on like a khaki shirt and some khaki pants, and then they showed it next to Gucci Mane. They was like 10K, huh? No, I
Nah,
believe it. I believe it cost
Man.
10K
the
though.
boy
I don't think
Gucci.
he lying.
Gucci was fresh, man. That boy was pretty fresh or whatever.
Yeah, he
No, he
looked nice
was. He
though.
was.
I think.
But
Oh, go
I
ahead.
like the real estate comeback though.
Ah, yeah,
I
yeah,
did
he
like,
killed it with
Yeah,
that. He
yeah.
was like, yeah,
yeah.
let's do a real estate versus, homie. Yeah, I think what people don't understand is like your brain can't really decipher between a real argument and a fake argument. You know what I'm saying? So if you arguing about business, or if you arguing about having a real argument, you know what I'm saying? Like we about to fight and stuff like that, your brain can't really decipher. You know what I'm saying? So if you're like a person, I don't want to say like Gucci. I always thought he was kind of slow. You know what I'm saying? But if you can't imagine me and you have an argument compared, we'd have had some crazy arguments where we weren't really arguing, like we wasn't coming to blows. We just this is how we debate and stuff like that or whatever. Imagine somebody who can't control their emotions. You know what I'm saying? I think that happens a lot of time with people in our culture and stuff like that or whatever. So they situation could have been as simple, like you say, Eb, as far as just talking business and stuff like that or whatever, and somebody got emotional, and just from that little thing that where we debating about, well, I wanted to go in this direction and you wanted to go in that direction, somebody's emotions or their brain wavelengths took them to, oh, this is real beef. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't decipher
That's
between the
true.
two.
Yeah, and that's
Well, I
very
can
possible.
decipher it
Yeah.
when your homeboys come and when your five homies come up in my home and try to rob and kill me, then
But
I'm okay. Then
yeah,
it
but
is
but
what
that's
it is.
but that's what I'm saying. That's the emotional aspect where I'm not putting the onus on either one of them. I'm saying whoever started it, of course, once you do that, oh, it's real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying whoever started that or whatever, that I think that's probably a part of it, because I
I
guarantee
mean,
you it wasn't nothing serious that
I
started it.
could I could see a scenario where it was what you just said, Damon, where they got they have a disagreement, and somebody, and maybe Jeezy felt disrespected. And I mean, if you take it back to mob ties, which these a lot of times these guys have that mob tie mentality or whatever, like, oh, you showed the ultimate disrespect, this is what's about to happen to you.
Yeah.
And maybe he took it there because of that. And if that's the case, then yeah, Jeezy got a real reason to not want to ever, squash that beef or whatever, because you took words to actual violence. But I wouldn't be surprised if it was something on both ends, and we just know more about Jeezy's side of it compared to Gucci. But either way, I'm just kind of glad that they made that first step in trying to
Yeah.
make it go away.
Yeah, them boys performed so icy together. So they obviously had a conversation before the actual verses and stuff like that or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know if they did.
They had to,
I don't
They did. No,
no.
they did. They even said that they did, because
Oh,
Jeezy
okay.
Jeezy extended the olive branch. Jeezy, I'm not saying, okay, maybe they didn't talk to
But I
each
thought
other.
that went through like, okay.
Possible. I guess that's
I
a possibility.
thought it was like
Through their managers.
intermediaries. Yeah, because from the interview, I didn't gather that they had spoken together. I
Okay.
also didn't gather that because even with they asked Jeezy about, I think another host on another show said, "Do
Yeah.
you see where Gucci have you put yourself in Gucci's shoes? And Jeezy says, well, we'll have to sit down like men. He never was like, oh, I didn't have nothing to do with this, whatever. It was real a political,
Yeah.
Response.
way to kind of straddle the fence.
Yeah.
But he said, but I hope that we can talk one day, because I know he got this perception, I got this perception, whatever. But even in the verses, Gucci, it was at when he got done playing all his diss records, he didn't really care what song was played next. He just said, just play anything, it jam.
It
I
is,
don't think he went there caring to battle the
yeah.
music. I don't think that
Right.
was his thing. Where everybody, like the
What
fans,
music?
well, I understand. We know who's the most lyrical person. We know who has the most mainstream hits, also. But at the end of the day, I mean, he still likes his own body of work. But and I like shit. I got some. It's some Gucci bangers to me. I had a good time
True.
off of some things. But I know,
Yeah.
you know.
He got some joints that,
So, but at the end of the day, I think their motives were different
yeah.
for attending.
I
So
believe that what he said, he told Jeezy during the Western. I told, because Jeezy was like, man, look, I extended this to you, on some grown man shit, and Gucci was like, Brand, I told you that if we gonna do it, it got to be street. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I took that as, we not gonna pretend. You know what I'm saying? We gonna do this, and we gonna do it like we would be doing if we were sitting here with our homeboys or something like that. It's not about to be no I'm just gonna be playing my little hits and you playing yours. Now I'm gonna keep it 100. I don't like you. And you don't like me. So it
yeah.
is what it is.
I
Yeah.
think that's fine to do, but um, some of the comments that I saw afterward were like, they were like, "Oh, Jeezy is soft," and I was for him in the beginning, and now I got to change my mind because he ain't really saying nothing. And I think that sometimes when people experience some type of growth, and we're expecting to see them as they were, or how they behaved before, and then we're disappointed that they've achieved some type of growth, and we're mad about it. But then we have
Mhm.
so much to say when they're still behaving as if they were 20 years ago or
But
whatever. So I don't know, I have mixed feelings.
so that part right there, is kind of like, is where we lose psychologically, because if I had to bet, I would say most of those people who saying stupid shit like that are children. You know what I'm saying? They probably 25 and
Mental
younger.
children.
You know what I'm saying? They probably younger than under 30, under 25 or something like that or whatever. Those
Yeah.
aren't the people that control and rule us or whatever. We have to
Yeah.
be more vocal as adults, you know what I'm saying, to combat that. And I think
Yeah.
we a lot of adults shy away from hip hop. No, we grew up in this. We need to be right there in the middle of it, controlling it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Rather than allowing kids to spew their opinions, and now that's the opinions of the culture when it's not.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
you
saw
that
my.
was
Well, I'm not saying that I disagree, but I do know that music and things change over time. And so there is a new generation coming up, and they're not shy about voicing their opinions about anything, even if it's the most
At all.
ridiculous and asinine thing you could ever think of or to say. They're gonna voice their opinion because their generation is coming up. They're making their own music, and we could be right there in the mix with them and try to help guide them to, so that they don't look like idiots. But I mean, my mom did not. She was like, I don't know what that mess is you're listening to. Turn it off. My mom
Because
hated
that was before our
anything.
time.
I mean, exactly. She hated anything hip hop related, and she didn't even like MC Hammer. And his lyrics were not, they were not
Ain't
offensive
touch
at
this.
all. Yeah, she was like,
yeah.
nope, turn that mess off. I'm not listening to it. So, I mean, I don't know. I,
But that's why I say we grew up in it. This is our baby. And the people that may be a little bit older than us, maybe 45 to 50 range, but we really grew up in hip hop. We grew up through every era of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Being born in the 80s or whatnot, and from from the changeover from disco to uh the
Rock.
well, not rock, but I was talking about like the DJs and stuff like that, because that's who really got it crunk with Herc and all of those cats in New York or whatever. What I break dance. That's what I was talking about. breakdancing and stuff, and then evolving into what it is now. We've been through all of those eras. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So your mom, she wouldn't, of course, you know, because it was before her time or whatever. But I bet she probably like Curtis Mayfield. You know what I'm saying? Who was spitting the same type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? That you know.
My mama
think he
liked
was the
what I
first
like
hip-hop.
until she was around the church folks.
Yeah. Hey, y'all,
Yeah.
we gotta go though.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
So this has been another episode of Acoustic Chef. I hope everybody was able to get their points across or whatever. We appreciate you guys for listening, tuning in, watching. I didn't realize a lot of people be watching videos and stuff like that. But
I told you that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've never watched.
I told you that it's analytics. I know we got to go, but it's all about analytics. You got to target who you want. A certain age group, they like YouTube.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Share, y'all. Share. But again, just go ahead and subscribe. Even if you don't like want to watch the full hour, watch how long Ebony they need to watch.
Oh gosh, if ours is an hour.
I think if
they
you
need
just
to
play
watch-
15
just-
minutes, 15, 20 minutes,
Yeah.
just let it play.
Or
and go
just
and,
walk
you
away.
know,
Just play it and then go do
you
stuff.
know, you listen to it on Spotify. You listen to it on Spotify. That's fine. But you know, go ahead and go to the YouTube and just let it play. Walk away, do something, and then you know, come back, whatever. But you know, give us that that subscribe. Hit that subscribe button for us.
Anyway, we appreciate y'all, man. Y'all have a good day.
Peace
Peace.
out.